Hey, how's it going everyone? Matt here. Today I'll be going through my photography and videography equipment which I use for plane spotting and my reviews. This video is kind of a face reveal, so you could treat it as such. It's a little bit weird for me and I'm quite nervous doing this video, so I do hope it is entertaining enough, and I don't want to spend too long on this video because I don't want to bore people out. I can bore people out very easily and I could go on for ages. So let's just hop right into it. So photography, we'll start with this. We'll go to videography stuff, and then we'll finish off with some extra accessories. So I have my Nikon D5500, the Velo battery grip. It's got two batteries inside, so it gives me a long extended battery life. Best part is swiveling screen. I love these screens. I've got it on my GH5, which is really nice. So attached here is my Sigma 100 to 400. It's a f5 to 6.3 67mm filter, and so it's got a ton of programmable buttons, autofocus, not vibration reduction. Oh no, it does. Custom settings. I have the Sigma dock, which you can link up to your computer, and basically you can fine tune it how you want, and you can see any of these custom ones for your shooting style. So I have two different custom ones for each of those buttons, so it just helps with my autofocus and things like that when tracking aircraft. Just other autofocus settings as well, which is really nice to have. On top here, I don't use this for plane spotting. I do shoot everything in manual, both video and photography, but this is helping me train with just other general photography things, you know, sort of like waterfalls, nature, cities and things like that. So night photography, it's really good. Helps me train, learn different skills, learn the settings. It's really good. It's called Arsenal, and Arsenal is a Kickstarter backed project, and I backed it, and it's a really nice device. I recommend it. So basically it just fits onto the hot shoe. You plug it in to the little micro USB port on the side, the AV out port as well, and it works perfectly. So some other lenses I have for this camera. Well, actually this is my newest lens, the Sigma. This was the kit lens. I don't really use this much more. It's 18 to 35mm, 3.5 to 5.6 aperture. Don't use this. Got autofocus and vibration reduction. I used to use this for my video reviews, my model reviews, but it didn't have a continuous aperture when you zoomed in and out, and that created some problems with my exposure. So don't you really use this much at all. This was my original plane spotting lens, the Nikon DX, because my camera is an APS-C. It has the DX crop, so it has 1.5 times crop of a full frame camera. So this is my 55 to 300, 4.5 to 5.6 aperture. Really nice, crystal clear glass. I still use this today, obviously, because it has the best glass out of all my lenses, especially when you want sort of a native lens. It has everything on it, and it does what a native lens should do. And this is my last one. This is my wide angle Tamron 16 to 300mm, so I can use it all the way down that zoom range, f3.5 to 6.3. Really nice lens. All these have lens hoods, by the way, which I do like. And just like all my lenses, autofocus and vibration control, you need it when you're zooming in on aircraft, and it's really nice. Alright, so we move on to the video equipment. So we're going to start with the model review equipment. So I have my GH5 here, and one of the bonus features is the articulating screen, which I always enjoy. The cage that you can see around here, so we've got a metal cage that goes all the way around, and it fastens on the bottom of the GH5. That is the shape cage. Very nice cage. It has two cold shoes, which are very important for my setup. My lens, which is probably quite difficult to see, So this is the Leica DG 12 to 60mm f 2.8 to 4. So it's quite a fast, wide open lens. I always keep autofocus on. I never have stabilization on, but I always keep autofocus on, and I also have an autofocus switch and a manual switch here on my GH5. So when I'm switching between auto and manual while in video, I just flick this rather than using the one on the lens. So that's one benefit of the GH5. Now, some of the equipment I use, so I'll start with audio. So what I'm currently using, probably gonna create some loud noises by taking this off here, but this is my Audio Technica 3350i, something like that. These little clips, so it's got a battery in here, a little button battery. Should probably hold this up here, and it's really nice. It's a good lens for the price. It's cheap, and right now I don't have it connected directly up to the camera, which I'm using. I'll let you know later on what it is. But I use this. This is for what I use for my slow motion videos, because you cannot get slow motion. This plane spotting. I'll go into that a bit later. But this is an external audio recorder, high quality audio. So I'm recording out of this right now. So hopefully it's going to be all synced up, and this is going to provide nice crisp audio. But I'll get into that also a bit later on. So continuing with the GH5 setup. So on the lens I have this finger zoom, and it's much easier than having to get my hand through here and rotate the lens. It's quite difficult. Here I could just do that. Quite easy. Sits on there very nicely, although it doesn't lock into the little fingers on the lens, or whatever it's called, the little bumps. It doesn't lock into those. It's a rubber ring around the lens. It holds on quite nicely, and it does its job. So we're going to move on to the big thing on the camera now. This is the Atomos Ninja Inferno. I use this primarily for focus and exposure. This can be used as an external recorder. I plan to in the future. It's got an SSD port right here, which I've got covered up, just so it doesn't, so the contacts aren't going to get all dusty or whatever. 2 massive batteries on the back here as well, and they last quite a while, which is very, very nice. For this monitor, you're going to need an a 4K capable HDMI cable, because otherwise you're going to get lagged out on the monitor. And the last thing on this rig is that's going to be easily taken off, which is quite nice. It's my ring light, which I use for looking inside the engine. So this is its lower setting, and it's around the wrong way. You can see it's around the wrong way because of the monitor, its placement. I can't help that. I'm going to get a little articulating sort of cold tube that extends from the side of the rig, or I should say from the cage. But in the meantime, it works where it is. You can see it's quite bright. That's its lowest setting, by the way. And speaking of lights, this right here, these are my lights. These are the Dracast LED 160 or 180, connected to my Joby GorillaPod 5K. Really nice. I have 2 of these big batteries. I've got one for each light. Now, where's the second light? It's right behind the camera, using it to expose this video well enough. But the light behind the camera, I just connected up to the mains. So I use both batteries for this. So that way, if I run out in between recordings, I just use the other battery while this one charges up again. It's really nice. And the other use of this is my in-flight video. So when I'm on an aircraft, which you haven't seen yet, using this, I would typically go handheld. But last year I tried something, and hopefully the videos are going to be out soon, because well, it was August or September when I was flying. So what I would do is I'd wrap these around the armrest, use the little plate here from the Joby, which it comes off by unscrewing this. But I would connect that up to, this is the tripod head of my old tripod. I still use the legs, but this is the head of it, which I don't use anymore. But now I found a use for it, so I connect this up to the plate of the Joby GorillaPod. Here is the battery grip for the GH5, so I have extended battery life, so I don't need to worry about running out when on the aircraft. And this gives me enough height as well for it to reach over the window, and you're not allowed to stick suction cups on the Air New Zealand aircraft. It's just law, and I don't like the law. So I can't use suction cups on the windows or anything. So this is my best bet, is that I wrap this around the armrest. There's no problem. Connect it up to here and then to the GH5, and I'm good to go.
What we do here is go back.
Right, so now onto the video equipment I use for plane spotting. Now this is the Leica 100 to 400mm f4 to 6.3 strapped onto the GH5. Now there's quite a few changes here when compared to my review setup. So big thing is this microphone I use. This is the Rode Video Mic Pro R Plus, I think it is. Anyway, I have the shield on it, which is the Dead Cat windshield, which is really nice. Now for batteries, I don't use the standard kit batteries. I have actually 4 batteries. I have 2 Panasonic kit batteries, and I have 2 Wasabi kit batteries. But this here is, if you can see it quite well, this is my external battery, 98 watt hours, so it's probably about 7 times the capacity of a single kit battery, and it plugs into the same battery port. And right now I'm sitting at 63%, 2 hours 8 minutes runtime left. I have, well, because I have the shoe on the bottom of the lens here, and there is some kind of rocking between the body and the lens, I needed to get this Velbon. It's basically a, well, it's a support, because it's to stop it from rocking. It also provides support, weight support, so weight distribution. And then I have the Manfrotto plate on the bottom here, and it's really nice. It all works well together. So some things I probably should have gone through before. So the GH5 is really nice because it has a dual SD card slot. So it means when I continue recording, I use up the space on one card. It's just not going to stop the recording, but it's going to continue the recording over to the next SD card, which is really nice, and I can replace them as I'm using them. And I feel I'm forgetting something. So when I'm doing the slow motion videos, this recorder that I showed you before, the Zoom H1N, I use this, and this little thing that you had seen before but not known anything about on the cage. It's a little screw, 3/8 to 3/8 thread. I screw that on the back of the Zoom, and that just sits on the rig, so it's not loose or anything, which is really nice. Now some of the settings I use. So I'm just using the standard 4K 420 sampling. Don't go into 10-bit or anything. I have no need to. Plus, that restricts my frame rate. So with model reviews, I use 4K at 25 FPS. There's no need to use anything that's smoother. Now this does have 10-bit. I don't need 10-bit too often. I'm definitely not for what I do on YouTube in regards to aviation. And I don't really have the computer that can handle it. I don't even have a computer that can handle 4K well, and I really need to upgrade. But it's better to have better equipment to film with rather than the computer, because the computer can be slower, but it can still produce the video in the end, which in that way I'd rather do that direction, upgrade the equipment before the computer. But anyway, plane spotting, I use 4K at 50 frames per second, so it provides really smooth video. There is no time limits on those, which is good for being in an aircraft. Of course, as I said, with that setup, I can keep it going for as long as I want, as long as there's enough battery and enough space on the SD cards. Now, one thing is with the slow motion recording, as I said, there is no sound. So I use 180 frames per second at 1080p. So it's very smooth, but there is a lot of issues with syncing in post. So it does take a while, but it is something I'm happy with, and it's something I want to continue with because it has been really well received. So moving on to some of the accessories for my cameras. Now, the first one I probably could have shown you when it was on the GH5. This is a filter, 72mm filter, UVA haze filter. So it's a clear one, but the main purpose of this, not only does it help with cutting through some of the haze, but it provides protection to the lens. It has no flare or minimal flare because it has an sort of this anti-reflective coating on each side of it, which is really nice. It is a Leica filter, so it is high quality, and I really like it. It does make for some stunning images as well as protecting my lens. Now, some other filters I have for this is for my Tamron, I believe, Tamron. So this is Nikon's own 67mm polarizer. I have a 62mm thread polarizer for my 12-60 Leica lens. That's for looking out aircraft windows because it can get quite glary and reflective from inside the cabin. These polarizers just cut through them. They're really, really good. And the last one here is my 67mm for my Tamron. It's just a standard haze filter protector. I don't usually use it too much, but it is good to have. Also good to have is a cleaning kit for your lenses. This is a Zeiss one. I always keep it with me. And now onto SD cards. Now I use quite good SD cards. So this is the one I use. I have two of them. I have a 128 gig card, which isn't fast, but for my DSLR, for my Nikon. But this is a faster one. This is a Lexa 1000X. It has I believe it's a read speed 150 megabits or megabytes per second. It goes up to maybe 120, something like that. It's a class 10 UHS 2 64 gig SDXC card. But some of the other cards I have for my GH5. So I have 4 of these. These are really nice. These are Lexa 64 gig class 10 UHS 2 2000X. So these are 300 megabytes per second. I believe they are read speeds, but they work so well even with 400 megabyte per second recording. And I just got these recently, so I'll be using these for plane spotting all the time, especially slow motion work, because these are very, very fast. And it's 128 gig Sony G series, I believe, yeah, G series V90 cards. So V90s are rated as being for high capacity, high bit rate video recording, especially in 4K. And these are really nice. So that's something I I always want to get. And this is a little thing for my SD cards. It's a little Pelican case. It has 12 slots and is watertight. Last thing for this video is my scanner. Now this is basically essential for your plane spotter. It's the Uniden UBC 75XLT, programmable via the computer, so you don't have to mess around with it too much. You just sort of select what one you want, what channel you want to listen to, boom. Now some of the other cameras I have, so I have been using this for my slow motion to test it out. It's the Sony HDR CX900E, so that's what I'm using right now to record this. I also have the Panasonic HCWX970M, big long names. It's a 4K camera that is linked up to a friend right now, has been for quite a while, but that's a very good camera as well. Alright, so now moving on to tripods. First up is the Velbon DV7000. So this is the same one that came with that Velbon head, and I use this for my reviews. It's very nice. And on top of that, I have my camera slider. So I stick my reviews rig on here, screw it on, and basically this gives me that movement. This is my second slider. This is better than my first one. The first one was a bit just wasn't smooth enough. This one's very nice, and it's carbon fiber, so it provides added benefit with it being a little more lightweight, and it's longer as well. Lastly is my Manfrotto M536 Pro legs, carbon fiber. This has 3 telescopic levels, 3 legs, very nice. Also have the feet here, the rubber feet, so it's perfect with hard surfaces on concrete, what have you. But if I screw this all the way in, I've got a spike, as you can see. Now this just digs into the grass, so provides stability on grass, which is absolutely necessary for plane spotters. And on the top is my Manfrotto Nitrotech N8 head. It has adjustable counterbalance, and it is just an overall nice and smooth head. I usually have my settings fairly tight. It is good when you have a long lens, and it's just overall very stable, combined with the carbon fiber legs, which are very light, and they soak up a lot of vibration as well, unlike aluminium legs. So overall it's a very good combination for plane spotting. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this video. It's probably been quite long considering the time code I've seen on my camera, but nonetheless I hope it has been informative enough. I hope I haven't been too boring. I hope I am understandable. I know sometimes I speak quite fast. That is one of the downsides. So I'm trying to speak a bit slower, and it's not helping, especially when I'm nervous and making a video like this. I hope my ugly face as well hasn't been a problem. But look, if any of this has helped you, please let me know. That'd be great. I hope it does. Not just for plane spotters, but for anyone who's making videos where you need longer lenses, you know, if you're doing nature photography. And it's just, you know, just let me know. I would like to know. It'd be very helpful that I did help people, I guess. But all the links are down in the description for every item, even ones that I haven't mentioned, stuff that I haven't shown in this video. I will leave links down too, because I cannot show everything. It's quite a lot. But I show on the main things that matter, things that provide, you know, so much valuable input to my videos. But other than that, I hope you have enjoyed once again, and I'll see you all next time.